What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is the 7th episode in the series, and we start today's episode off with a rival match. Yep, that's right, our first ever rival game with Paris FC, but it's not a rivalry you're expecting. We're not facing who we'll be considering as our main rivals in the series in Paris Saint-Germain, but instead it's Red Star FC, who play in a suburb of Paris, and these two teams are considered local rivals, if you will. So taking on Red Star FC, both of these sides got promoted from the division below the second tier of French football last season. So Red Star FC and Paris FC, rival teams really, local rivals if you will. Of course PSG will be our main rivals in this series, but either way, coming into this game against Red Star FC, our first rivalry match, I was really looking forward to this one. Hopefully we were going to go ahead and win it as well and make it 2 wins from 2 after a disappointing defeat to Lyon, which was our first defeat of the series in the last episode. But there were a couple of good chances in this game for us. We saw that free kick at the post there, and in the first half Thierry Ambrose had a good chance but wasted his shot and put it off target. But we would open the scoring 10 minutes after the break though. It comes through Boga, who gets his first goal for the club, and our number 8 does fire this shot into the back of the net to make it Paris FC 1, Red Star FC 0. Now Boga, I discussed before, I wasn't really sure whether he was a Chelsea loanee or a Chelsea player that's been sold to Stade Rennais. We signed him from Stade Rennais in the game. I was actually right, he was actually a Chelsea loanee in real life, but in the game for some reason he's listed as a permanent Stade Rennais player. And I also got it wrong as well. I did say a couple episodes ago that Tian was our first ever signing in this series. It's not, it's actually Boga. Boga was our first signing, and he does get his first goal for the club there, and the former Stade Rennais and Chelsea man does make it Paris FC 1, Red Star 0. So we take the lead in this game. Red Star had a great chance to equalise here and deny us all 3 points later on. Really good chance that header hit the bar, and eventually we got the ball away, so it was still 1-0. From the goal kick we launch it long, it comes to Tian, he finds Enzo Fernandez. Zidane's son flicks it on towards Bongongui, who goes through 1-on-1. Really good chance here, but sadly the substitute hits the post, and eventually Red Star get the ball away. But thankfully for us, despite Red Star hitting the woodwork later on, we do hold on for the 3 points and make it back-to-back wins in the league. Boga's first goal for Paris FC, it does separate the two sides, and we win our first ever rival match. So really pleased with that. Of course Paris Saint-Germain are going to be our main rivals, we know that, but either way, this season taking on Red Star for presumably at least once or twice, I should say, this season, once home and once away, it'll still be really interesting. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up 6 points from a possible 6. We're already halfway there, so delighted with that. And following that, we had ourselves a scout report here from our French scout, surprisingly based in France, and as you can see, we sign our first youth player to Paris FC as well, and it is the goalkeeper at the top of this scout report, Abdoulaye Balmi. Is that how you would pronounce that? Probably not, but he's 49 to 63 overall, 77 to 94 potential. He's 16 years old, but the problem is his height. He's not 6 foot yet, and I don't like playing goalkeepers that are under 6 foot. Now, I have been told that youth players do continue to grow in the academy. I do believe until they hit 18, so that means that he should theoretically grow a few more inches and hopefully do hit that 6 foot. I think right now he's 5'9", so not too far to grow, but yeah, I don't really exactly want to play him in the first team if he's under 6 foot, because I always feel that's a bit, too short for a goalkeeper, really. So we'll have to wait and see how he turns out, but he looks okay from the first 2 months of scouting. 77, 94 potential, not going to say no to that, are you? So he looks okay, and hopefully he'll develop in the academy as well. We'll give him some training if he does grow in height, otherwise I'm not going to waste any time on him, and he could end up being a really decent player for us, but we'll have to wait and see. It is our first youth player though, and I do believe in the next episode we had ourselves a squad report as well, and a youth squad monthly report, so you can see how he looks as well after his first month in the academy. So we take on Dijon for the second of 4 games in today's episode here away from home, looking to make it 3 wins from 3 in the league, and we take the lead through a familiar face in the 35th minute. He didn't score at the back end of last episode against Nancy. He didn't score in the last game against Red Star. I was beginning to have some doubts about this guy, our number 9, the skipper for the club now, Thierry Ambrose. When was he going to find his next goal for the club? Well, he finds it here just 37 minutes in. He gets his 15th goal of the season. I love the way he chested that ball to run onto it there. He's so good at just getting away from defenders. He's got such rapid pace, even though his physicals aren't growing at the moment, and he does open the score with a lovely finish as well. He just does really remind me of Thierry Henry, and it's not just the first name as well. He's just so composed in front of goal, and he does make it Dijon 0, Paris FC 1. The home side had a good chance to equalise there, but that header was cleared off the line and eventually put behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score Dijon 0, Paris FC 1. Not exactly the most entertaining of games. The home side did have 8 shots and 3 of which on target. They also dominated possession as well, and even though the stats would tell you that they played better than us, they didn't actually carve out too many opportunities. And this was one of those games where the stats just didn't really seem to make sense. You know, you get those sort of games in FIFA every now and then where the stats just don't seem to add up, you know. I mean, they had some chances, don't get me wrong, you saw a couple of them in the game there, but for the most part, they didn't really do much with the ball. The possession stat was right, they controlled the game and they played some good football, but in terms of actually carving out clear-cut opportunities, there weren't that many. Our defence put in a couple of good blocks, but for the most part, I didn't really feel threatened that we were going to lose our goal and, you know, lose our lead in the game and see the home side equalise. I thought we'd be okay and get the 3 points, and we were. You know, they had some chances, yes, but they weren't clear-cut ones, and I thought we defended quite well in that game. So good to notch up another win. 3 wins in 3 games. Really, really delighted with that. And now trying to pull away from the pack as well at the top of the table. We're doing everything we can right now to make sure that right now in the first half of the season, we can stay in the top 2 positions. You know, I don't know how this league's going to go for the most part. As I said before, believe it or not, I don't know much about this division and what teams would be considered the strongest in this division. But what I really want to do come the first half of the season, come the end of the first half of the season, is be in the top 2 positions and be a few points cut away from 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, and so on. I want to be away from the pack and try and distance ourselves as much as possible from automatic promotion places to just the other place in the division, as of course there are no playoffs in the French second tier. Still coming to this, the 3rd game of today's episode back at home here. A couple of good chances early on in this game, and in the second half here, a great side for the away side to take the lead, but a good save by our goalkeeper there, make sure it's still 0-0. In the 68th minute, we had a chance here from this corner. It's crossed into the centre. Jerome Jr. gets on the ball, or JJ, as some of you guys want me to call him from now on. It comes inside to Nicholas, who goes for goal, but our big number 12 was denied by a fantastic save by the goalkeeper. What a stop that was, and he turns it behind for a corner, and it was how the game would finish as well. A goalless draw, so sadly for us, we can't make it 4 wins from 4. We do only get a draw here at home. We had a lot of chances in this game, as did the away side, to be fair. I think on another day, though, we probably would have got the 3 points. The goalkeeper, Scribe, was fantastic. I mean, the writing was on the wall in this game that he was going to be really, really good. And does that make sense? Not really. But yeah, it was a really good performance from the goalkeeper there. And sadly for us, we can only manage a goalless draw. So it's good to get another clean sheet, don't get me wrong. You know, right now with Paris FC, as I said before, defending with this team, we started off quite well. Then I looked a little bit shaky and a little bit vulnerable. But now starting to notch up the clean sheets again. That's what we want to see. We want to try and keep ourselves really solid at the back. But either way, we should have got the 3 points in that game. And the goalkeeper did have an absolute stormer, in fairness, in making sure that we would only get ourselves a point and a goalless draw. Still following that, we take on Evian for the 4th and final game of today's episode here. And you may be noticing as well that the games are going by a little bit quicker compared to my usual career modes. That's because with club and country, there's a lot of progression that needs to be done. And with the second tier of French football, as I said before, it's not really considered the most interesting of leagues, I'm sure, for the most part. So because of that, I'm trying to speed up the gameplay and try and get as much games into the episode as possible. So hopefully we'll always have at least 3, sometimes 4 in an episode, and therefore we'll speed through the season as soon as possible, and you'll see the progression a lot quicker. Still taking on Evian for the 4th and final game of today's episode here, and we'd opened the scoring just 2 minutes in. Once again, Thierry Ambrose failed to find the back of the net in the last game, but it takes him just 2 minutes to open the scoring in this one. Straight from kickoff, we kept holding the ball really well, went down the right hand side, crossed it into the centre, and our skipper's got his 16th goal in League 2 this season. So Thierry Ambrose, just an absolute monster, and he does make it 1-0 to Paris FC. A great block there from our number 10 to turn this header behind for a corner, kept it at 1-0, and in the 26th minute, a good chance for us to double our advantage. Pellinar gets on the ball and goes for goal, but our left back is denied a super goal by Leroy, who turns behind for a corner and keeps it at 1-0. On the stroke of half time, another good chance to make it 2-0. Thiam's header goes just over the bar and behind for a goal, kicking it. We're still 1-0 to Paris FC. As you can see at half time, the home side were dominating possession. We were still leading, and quarter of an hour after the restart here, we had a great chance to double our advantage as our goalkeeper claims this corner, and on the stroke of the hour mark here, he launches it forward. It's headed away by the Evian defender, but only as far as Enzo Fernandez, who plays an absolutely sensational chip through ball towards Thierry Ambrose. And when our number 9 is running one-on-one, you just got to pray for the goalkeeper because he's got absolutely no chance. Really, really good finish by Thierry Ambrose into the back of the net. He didn't score in the last game, so he thinks he has to score 2 in this one to make up for it, and he does just that. A really composed finish by Ambrose. Also, Zidane's son has now got 3 or possibly even 4 assists since coming in on loan. I'm really liking the look of this guy, to be honest. And Thierry Ambrose as well now has 17 goals in the French second tier, and we're not even at the halfway stage yet. Wonderful finish, wonderful assist, and it is Evian 0, Paris FC 2. We thought at that point the points would probably be secure for us, but the home side would get themselves back in the game here, and half the deficit 7 minutes after Ambrose's second goal. Very poor defending from this corner, in all honesty, in my opinion here. I'll take the blame for this one, but we had two players trying to head the ball away. Neither of them got on the end of it here. And also the man in the centre, Aldo, who turns it in. I don't know where the marking was there. I don't know where my goalkeeper's positioning was there. Either way, very poor, and Evian do get themselves back in the game. They almost came from 2 goals down to grab a point in this game later on. A good chance here, but Barbosa's shot was well saved by our goalkeeper and turned behind for a corner. But thankfully for us, they couldn't come from 2 goals down. They could only half the deficit and not complete the comeback. We do hold on for a 2-1 victory. Back to winning ways. Really pleased with that. That is now 5 games undefeated in the league as well. No, sorry, all games undefeated in the league. 5 games undefeated in all competitions, I should say. And either way, a very good performance for us in that one. Ambrose with a double and a good solid win. And even though, once again, the stats will tell you that Evian seemed to play better, I still thought we played quite well in that game. And just another one of those where the stats seem to lie a little bit. That does end the episode though, guys. So thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Club and Country, then please do leave a like. So much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.